Come on, come all. It's doubling down right here on Nesson Nation and Trust the Profits here on YouTube. Very happy to be joined by my co-host, Vinny Blonde. Vinny, it's a special week for you. Happy birthday, my friend. Happy 21st birthday.
Thanks, dude. Thanks.
You don't look a day over 21. You'll start to get some of these grays
right.
that I have one of these days.
Yeah, that's why I shave this because they do come in.
Did you tear it up in Saratoga on the night of your birthday?
I wish it's been a few years since I've done that. I just went for my free chicken wings and beer, so that was still a very good way to celebrate.
Hey, that sounds very good to me. So happy birthday to Vinny. That means that you're absolutely going to break out of your slump this week and cash because it's your birthday. How could it go wrong? When last week it went wrong for us, not in the second leg, Vinny. We both had a 7-1 horse with our boy Kendrick Carmouche aboard. He's a big fan of ours on this show. We both had him on our ticket, so it felt good to get that 7-1 home. The unfortunate part is we were already knocked out in the first leg by fully subscribed the Chad Brown horse. This was one that had paired for on the Thoroughgraph, which I had mentioned really briefly. But other than that, we kind of both went other directions in that first leg. But I thought when we finished recording, I said to you, I think I'm feeling really confident that one of us is going to hit the double this week. It just wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, it was just unfortunate. I know I singled there, and my single sat good, but just didn't seem like running on the inside of horses, and kind of backed out as the real running started. Just completely backed out, and then that 6 for Chad Brown ran a career race, so not much you could do there. Horse looked really good in the stretch, so there was no doubt about that one. Yeah, we only had one person hit the double last week, so everybody's still alive at least.
Absolutely, and shout out to David Barista. Check him out. He's in our YouTube chat a lot. He's on X. He's an unbelievable artist. He does some horse racing paintings, and he has an absolute talent that I wish I had. So check him out, support him. He's been very, very good in our contest. Hasn't broke through on winning yet, but the first leg he's always there. Then he kind of drops down a few pegs as people catch up. So David, you got to put together a few on the winning streak so that you can make sure that you cash the formula's free premium picks for Louisiana Champions Day and for Malibu Stakes Day out at Del Mar in December. That is this month's prize. It is free to play, always free to play. Swing on over to doublingdown.glide.page. You get free past performances courtesy of RaceLens, and you get to play along with us for no cost. You just get to throw your tip picks in and then see how you do, and we have the leaderboard updated for you. Vinny will update our standings as we've talked about last week wanting to finish the year in the positive. Last week didn't help either of us. I lost 6, you lost 3. Nope. I'm still on the positive side, and you're still within striking distance, so I think we can do this. We can do this.
Yeah, we just gotta get one of them home.
That's all it takes, and that's what we'll try to do this week. We're gonna go over to Claiming Crown Day at Churchill Downs. Vinny, you need about 150 pages in your printer if you're going to print the past performances for Saturday at Churchill.
Yeah. These are the full cards that Naira and California racing dream of. Like what, the first race has 18 horses entered. I don't know when the last time a Naira race hit 15, let alone 18. So yeah, it's these are definitely some full fields here.
It's hard enough to get the full field on the screen there. As you see, I have to blow it up. So I apologize for those that make it hard to see with our graphics. And Vinny, I made a graphic to show the fields. And to be honest, when I made this, I only put in 12 horses because usually we only have 12. So I can't use this because you can't see the rest of the field. So we got all kinds of problems today on doubling down. We'll take a look at the first leg of our daily double is race 9 for November 15th. 7 furlongs on the dirt, 3-year-olds and up. The purse is $125,000. The first note I wrote down, Vinny, there's lots of ways I think you can go. As I went through it the first time, and I've had a struggle as I went through both legs of this double, trying to narrow my ticket down, knowing one of two things. the first thing is I know I'm trying to get to positive on the year, so I'm really kind of being particular in who I'm picking for my picks, right? Which makes sense. Probably should be doing that every show, but sometimes you get a little loose. The other thing, Vinny, for me, is Del Mar is back with the $5 double, and I know it's at Santa Anita as well, but I always tend to focus on it on that late daily double that is $5 at Del Mar because I am like on fire with that. That's the double every Saturday and Sunday that I know I'm just going to play these two doubles because when I handicap, Vinny, I'm very strict. When it's a $5 ticket, you can't just go 3x3 or put a lot of horses in each leg. Your ticket quickly gets very expensive, and you can look at the probables and realize that I'm risking a lot to maybe not win a lot on those and find some horses who I think are prices. And I took that mentality when I came into looking at this field or both of these fields, which were so big. And I said, you know what, if this was a $5 daily double, how am I going to play this? And that's how I approached this week's daily double. So it'll be interesting as you hear my thoughts. Why? I have a single in the second leg. It's not normal of the single mentality that I bring to the show where it's like, oh, this horse is my favorite horse. He's going to win and I'm not going to pick anybody else. It's a little bit more of I got so many options here. And if I was playing a $5 double, I need to narrow it down and pick one. And that's how I got to my single in the second leg. But here in the first leg, we actually, in this gigantic field, ended up on two of the exact same horses. Which one would you like to start with on your ticket?
I guess we'll just start with the number. We'll do them in order here. I guess we'll start with the number 7, My Noble Knight for Tom Amoss. And this was one of the horses that I picked, cutting back a little bit in distance. But the horse has tactical speed, and I think that tactical speed will carry over nicely for this 7 furlong distance based on the past races. And again, kind of like how last week was, and the reason I think why we kind of ended up on Alluring Angel. You know, you have these claiming horses, and like the reason they're claimers is that they're inconsistent. And like you go through this one's past performances, and a lot of consistency. Like doesn't always win, but always seems to be in with a chance. And like that's kind of what I want here, and especially in a big field. Like again, this horse might not win, which is why neither of us singled. But this horse rarely throws a dud out. So like I just think this horse has some tactical speed, is usually right there. I think this horse will at least have a shot with 200 yards to go, and maybe is good enough, maybe isn't, but that was why I ended up on this horse.
Yeah, you basically said the notes that I wrote down, which is the word consistent is exactly what I wrote on my notes for who in this race he's the number 4. He was the 2-1 favorite, ends up finishing second with Jose Ortiz aboard. This was last time out in a sloppy track at Keeneland, and that was going 1 1/8. They do cut back to 7 furlongs, as you mentioned. The other thing I noted that you didn't mention was just the fact that Jose Ortiz has been aboard this horse 3 of the last 4 times, and it was 2 seconds and a first. So the performance there with Jose aboard is not too shabby either. He is 0 for 3 at Churchill, which I'm not too crazy about, and actually doesn't have a win at the 7 furlong distance, which, as you know, is something that I want to look for in the horses. But that word consistent is absolutely the reason that I am on the 7 as well. The other thing that stood out to me a little bit, Vinny, RaceLens will highlight in blue on the left races that are key races. So races that have 3 winners coming out of them. And I saw the blue jump off the page on My Noble Knight. This race actually had 4 winners in it. But you could see the race in Saratoga, 2 back in Oaklawn in April and May, even last year at Churchill Downs. He's coming out of some races where horses came back to win, so it made those races a little bit more flattering for me as well. And I had written down top win percentage for Amoss on the dirt, 4-year-olds and older, 22% win percentage. So not too bad. Yeah. And then look at this percentage with them together as well, 38%. Amoss 29% over the last 30. You see a lot of green on my past performances. So I'm in agreement with you on the number 7, My Noble Knight. And then we also both agreed on the number 8, Take Charge Smiling with Tyler Gaffalione. For Baker, this is a horse sired by Take Charge Indy. What did you like about the 8?
kind of the same thing, consistency, but this one I thought had more tactical speed. Tyler's aboard, which is never a bad thing, but I thought this one's gonna be one that's gonna be very close to the pace. The last like 4 races have been very, very solid in my opinion, and especially in claiming races. Like I want to see the horses that are finishing well in these kind of claiming races rather than take a shot with somebody who hasn't won in 5 or 6 races. Um, so that's kind of where I ended up on take charge smiling here, and it's just the same kind of mentality. Like this horse, the last 6 months has really just been throwing out good races, back like over and over and over. With the tactical speed, I don't think the distance should be a problem. This one does have a win at the distance, which is great to see. So that's where I ended up on the 8. I don't know what notes you had, but yeah, I just thought this one really fit.
My notes were that the horse is a 4-year-old, and so if you look at these Equibase speed figures, was building up 80, let's see, this is last year, end of last year, 87, 88, 87, 83. It was very consistent in the 80 range. Comes back in the
Yep.
4-year-old season, puts up that 94, then has a drop off of July 6th at Saratoga. Kind of was at that claiming 12,000 level, which, I'm not too crazy about, but 87, 95, pairs that with a 94, comes back with a 102. So this is the late fall of the 4-year-old season. There's no reason for me to think that there can't be at least a repeat of the last race. I don't know that there's going to be another step up. I'm not fooling myself. But
Yeah.
a repeat of that last race and that speed figure absolutely puts the horse there. The other thing that kind of stood out to me, and you're better at this game than I am when it comes to intent of trainers, but look at this, Vinny, because this highlighted for me that this horse was cross-entered on November 8th, and I looked down quickly and saw that there was a scratch there. This was a turf race where they put him in as a main track only a few weeks after that career best speed figure. And it makes me think, like, were they just trying to get this horse back on the track because of how nice that last race was, and maybe they've seen something second off the layoff and just trying to get him back quickly. So that to me gave me confidence that perhaps they're looking at another big effort. Am I looking too much into something there, or do you think I'm onto something?
No, I mean, I think you might be onto something because then even you look at this horse like typically has been claimed for like 20, like 12 was claimed for 12,000, like 5 starts back, then was claimed for 20,000,
Hmm.
won a 20,000, then listed him in a I forget the name of the why am I blanking on that, but not a claiming race last time out, comes in second, and then they wheel him back in an allowance optional claimer for 88,000, which means the claiming tag probably in that race for him was probably around 35,000 if I had to go back and look at the past performances. So like I feel, and then today what is this, is 20,000 claimer, I believe, right? 16 claimer. So they're trying to like they're not. I feel like they're not trying to lose money on him, in that he's running good enough that like I don't think they're gonna lose too much money on him, especially with his last couple efforts. So that's kind of the thing about the claiming game. You don't want to take a loss. So it seems like the spot seems right.
Yeah, I mean, the allowance optional claimer of 88, this purse is 125. It's for horses that are 3-year-olds and up that haven't started for a claiming price of 16,000 or less in 2024-25 on claiming Crown Day at Churchill Downs. So those are the two that I put on my ticket, and that's where I ended. You added one more.
Yeah, I added the number 11 Gilmore onto my ticket as well. I just thought Gilmore has looked very like the last race. Yeah, it was a little tougher of competition, but you know, five of the last 6 races has been right there at that 20,000 level. So I thought that made sense. The horse at the distance has never finished out of the money. He's only got 1 win, but he does have 2 seconds. The back-to-back win, 2 and 3 back, he did beat the 7. He beat the 7-3 back. My Noble Knight, going a mile and an eighth at Saratoga, is cutting back a little bit in distance, but the 1 mile effort here, I think are promising. The last race again, yes, probably wasn't his best effort, but does get Saez back instead of Tyler, and does Saez has what 2 wins in a second in his last 3 races on this horse.
Mm.
So I think Saez might just be a better fit for the horse. I wasn't willing to throw Joe Sharp off, especially at a full field. We'll probably get at least 3-1 on this horse with a full field. So that's why I used him here.
We'll talk about leg 2, but I'm gonna be really upset now because this horse Walaka is one that I was hemming and hawing about using in the second leg of my ticket, and now you like Gilmore, who lost to him last out. These 2 horses, Walaka and Alternate Reality, were the ones that I was having a tough decision in the next leg. So we'll get to that in a second. First up, head on over to degen-design.com. Use promo code DOUBLE for 10% off and buy some new gear that they have for us, supporting Doubling Down and Degen Design. Take a quick break right here on Nessa Nation. Hang out if you are on Trust the Profits, because we will be right back to talk about leg 2 of our daily double. All right, Vinny, leg 2 is race 10 at Churchill Downs on Saturday, November 15th. A healthy field of 14 with a couple also entered. We handicapped this expecting it to be 1 through 14, so follow us on X to see our changes. Vinny, I told you I singled here because I couldn't come up with a horse that I just started to get too crazy. If you like one, suddenly you start like 5 or 6 more that you like. I thought the 6 was very interesting. I thought the 2 was one with some average class numbers that were high. I mentioned Alternate Realities coming out of that race last time, who I thought was one that I wanted to I could be interested in. The 6 Walaka was another one I was be interested in. So finally I said, screw it. I'm taking a stand and I'm pressing my opinion and I'm singling. I'll get to my single after you talk about who you liked.
Well, my top pick here was the number 12 Navajo Warrior. I was scrolling through in these type of races. This horse has rattled off 5 straight wins. And at this class level, like winning 5 straight is not only is it consistent, but you don't see it too often, in my opinion, where you have a horse like this that's just rattling off wins. Won an allowance last time out. I almost singled this horse, to be honest with you. We'll see if I should have or not. But yeah, this horse just has been on a tear, and like I did win last time out here at Churchill with Irad. Gets Irad back today again, so I just thought this horse was too tough to go against. The outside post isn't fantastic, but hopefully he stays out of it. Keeps him out of traffic trouble. But yeah, I just horses 5 straight wins against arguably the same or a little bit better competition. So
that was my hope in not using the 12. Like, this was when I was close to singling as well, as you see him closing up last time here nicely. The post, I was concerned a little bit about the post being on the outside. This horse is going to have possibly 2 wide trips going 1 1/8 at Churchill. It is a claiming level, right? He does kind of stand out with that last race in the allowance. There was one other horse. There's a couple horses here who not only had allowance, but I think there was one that had even some stakes, the number 13, but that was at Parks. Last time out was a winner.
Yep.
So could have used the 12. I don't fault you for using the 12. I was close to using the 12. I'm going to go all the way to the inside, the number 1, Gilded Kraken. Love the name. Of course, you'll see this angle pop up, and it's a little bit of a long one to follow along. I'll put it up there on the side there for the RaceLens users. The horse is going turf to dirt. Last time out ran at Keeneland, showed early speed, has normally been on early speed. Is the early speed on the inside, with the rest of the early speed all being on the outside, right? So the angle is horse that going turf to dirt, showed early speed, and finished 4th or worst last time out, but has a win on the dirt in the past. And that's exactly what this horse has. They moved him over to the turf. Aside from a muddy track that he won by 8 lengths up at Saratoga. His last 4 of his last 5 have been on the turf, and he's 1 for 7 on the turf. He's 4 for 16 on the dirt, including a win at the distance, and he's had some success at Churchill. 2 wins, 2 seconds, a show. Makes that 5 out of 7 in the money running at Churchill. Jose Ortiz remains aboard, who's been on him the last 4 or 5 times and has gotten some pretty consistent speed figures. Look at the speed figures going back to the end of the fall last year, Vinny. 97, 101, 101, 101. And 2 of those races were on the turf, so kind of a similar move where he came back off the turf, came to Churchill. This was in September, going a mile on the 16th, and goes wire to wire, comes back and goes wire to wire at Keeneland. Obviously coming back at November, didn't have as much success. But I'm liking this turf to dirt angle here for the number 1 Gilded Kraken. And as I said, when I started to just kind of go through the field, I just started adding more and more horses. So I tried to narrow that ticket down, and I ended up with this one who's on the inside, can save ground, can get to the front, and maybe the 12 and that other early speed on the outside is going to have wider trips, and that could be the difference in what I consider to be a pretty tightly contested race. You didn't single the 12. Who else did you add?
I used the number 10, Burnin' Hot as well.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the outside pace horse that I think you were referring to.
Yeah.
Here, and just has won 3 of 4. The loss was a second. Has won his last 2 here at Churchill. I think this is just going to be maybe he doesn't win. Maybe him and the 1 lock up and they burn each other out. But this horse is just consistently on the pace, and one of those against like a class level like this. I'd rather have the horse that I know is at least should have an effort of being up front early. Because there is a chance, like you said, with the 1, that they just don't, at this class level, they don't always catch the speed. That's what makes speed so dangerous class levels, is that these horses aren't consistent. And sometimes the speed just gets away because nobody else wants to move. So I've taken a shot that this is the speed over the 1. And that the 3 is, the 3 is your leader turning for home. And if he's good enough, he's good enough. But I kind of figured if the pace did get a little quick, the 12 would kind of sit that perfect trip. And if there wasn't too much speed for whatever reason, I thought that Burnin' Hot was just a very dangerous horse there.
Yeah, 4 for 8 at Churchill's. What I wrote down, size aboard is a good sign, and consistent figures. I mean, there's some horses in these claiming races that you want to just get that consistency from, which I think is what you've been alluding to and enjoying. That's a nice effort there in that last race.
And that race had some decent horses. I mean, I know like Money Supply isn't what it used to be. Resilience is not the horse that he once was. But Money Supply is a graded stakes winner. Resilience is a graded stakes winner. He's beaten some good horses. I mean, you got to go ways down for Resilience to find that graded stakes win. The Wood Memorial.
Mm-hmm.
But still, he's that wasn't like a push. That wasn't a super pushover field. And yes, the pace scenario is different here. It's still, it's not a stakes race. So these horses are not the most consistent of bunches. But I like seeing that this horse really, ever since the claim, has just been. They throw him on the lead and kind of. I'm going to run as fast as I can for as long as I can. So that's what I'm hoping they do here.
Yeah, I was just nervous about the outside post because those races, last race he was the 2, 4 back he was the 1, 5 back he was the 2. He was the 12 once time, and he finished 27 lengths behind. Now that was at Turfway in an allowance race, so I'll give him, I won't knock him for that, but I'm just hoping that outside horses and that claiming level are going to struggle to keep
You go
up.
all the way. You go all the way back down there. So what?
There you go.
20.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. So
maiden claimer, baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
At Churchill.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just at Churchill. But yeah, again, like you said, you could go. I feel like you could go a lot of different ways here in in this field, and like that's where I was like, I'm just gonna go with I'm gonna go with the two consistent horses. They might end up being the shorter. I know I'm gonna guess Navajo Warriors are gonna be your favorite, coming off 5 straight wins.
Yeah.
But the consistency at this level for 5 straight wins is kind of crazy in my opinion. I'd be. It's kind of weird that they didn't throw him in like a stakes race at like a smaller track, but I mean, hey, they keep winning. They keep winning in this Midwest circuit at this level. Might as well just keep going.
There you see RaceLens, which agrees with you, Vinny. The 12 at 24.9%. Real quick before we get out of here, we'll look at race 9. We'll go back for the people. They had the 8 and the 7 on top. So if RaceLens is correct, you're going to be a winner on Saturday. Here's our two tickets. I'm going to go 7-8 with the 1. That'll cost you $2. Vinny is going to go 7-8-11 with the 10-12. It will cost you $6. Be sure to put in the comments who you like. And until next time, I'm Colin. He's Vinny. Good luck, everybody.